24 or 25 when I hit the ring. And then I just flatlined for the next 5-6 years until I was 31. When I joined Primerica, I actually owned 2 homes. I was working as an apprentice machinist. I was making $15 an hour. I bought my first home literally right out of high school. I saved up about $3,500, put the down payment on it. It was $77,000 for the house, which is like dirt cheap, even like for any area. But this is back in 1999 or 2000. I was 18 or 19 years old, and then a year and a half later, my wife at the time got pregnant, and we ended up having a baby at 21, and I needed a bigger house because this place was only 700 square feet, and it was like a semi. So I ended up renting that place out. My mom co-signed on the next mortgage for me. She didn't pay anything for it, but she co-signed on it, and it was $139,000 I paid for that house. So I ended up having 2 houses by the time I was 21. And I thought, man, real estate might be something I could do. And then I remember I was getting a tattoo redone on my arm. I got a Canadian wrestling tattoo. And I asked the tattoo artist, I was in Toronto getting this tattoo art done, and I said to him, I said, yo, how much, because I was always entrepreneurial. I always wanted to, and I hated my job, right? All I did was wrestle, but I basically lived to wrestle. And I was working at this factory that I hated every minute of it. And I asked the guy, I said, how much do you guys make tattooing, right? And he goes, I'll clear about $100,000 this year. I was like, what? Drawing on people's arms? Holy God, I couldn't believe it. I was making $30,000, right? This guy's making $100 tattooing. And I thought, well, I was pretty decent at art, right? I used to like art when I was, a kid and stuff. I'm like, man, I could do this. So I ended up ordering a tattooing and a piercing kit. I ruined my ex's back. I ruined my brother's leg. I did one on my brother. I went Prickett. Right? It was really, actually wasn't that bad. Then he got a weird cross on. Now he's got like this big cross on his leg. And it's just a horrid one because he had to cover up the word prick because it was so bad. I did one on my ankle, I did one here on myself, and then I realized that I can't make money at this because I suck. It wasn't good. I was good at the piercing part, and I pierced body parts I can't tell you about. But I didn't charge for it because I thought I would get my name out there. So I was always trying to do something to make extra money. I was even at the point where I had a basement apartment in the second home that I bought that I was renting out, and I was almost thinking like, I'll kick out the tenants and then I'll have my tattooing and piercing in the basement. Not knowing that you gotta have, zoning and stuff like that for this, but I'm 21 and I'm like, I gotta make some money, I wanna do something with my life, right? And that's when one of my good friends from high school at the time, I haven't seen him in years now, but he actually had his trainer call me from Primerica, named Fitzroy Thomas, who is still in Primerica to this day. And he called me up and he goes, hi, is Jamie there? I said, yeah. And I still remember this call. I was standing in the kitchen. I remember this moment like it was yesterday. And he says, hey, do you know Chad Davis? And I was like, yeah, I know Chad. And they go, well, did you know Chad's actually getting into the financial services industry and he's listed you as a character reference. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I knew that Chad had went to like college after high school and I didn't, right? We didn't hang out a lot after high school. So I knew he went to college, and I thought maybe he got into the financial stuff in college. I didn't know that you could, any dummy could get an insurance license. I didn't know that, right? I thought you had to be smart, right? Like my buddy Chad. And they go, well, Chad, he's doing his training right now, and we're wondering, do you know Chad to have credibility with people? Can he manage money and stuff like that? And I know nothing really about Chad from this perspective, other than he was at a poker game at my house a month earlier, borrowed $20 from my brother, and then won't return my brother's call. So they're asking me, do you know Chad to have trouble with any money? But of course I lied for my boy, and I said, oh, no, Chad's great, Chad's awesome. And they said, okay, and they asked me a couple questions, like interview style questions about Chad. And then they said, lastly, as part of Chad's training, he has to do 6 to 8 presentations with his trainer. Does Chad have enough credibility with you that you would help him out? I said, yeah, sure, I'll help my boy. And then they said, okay, well, great. Well, we're going to be in your area on Sunday, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I booked it with them. They came to my house. I didn't know what was going on. I forgot to tell my now ex-wife at the time. And we're literally walking out the door as Chad and this trainer are stepping to the front door because we were leaving to go shopping or something. And I was like, oh, Chad, how you doing, man? Good to see you. And there's this trainer with them. Hey, nice to meet you. And my ex, Krista, she's like, what's this? What's going on, right? And this is how she was. She's still when she sees this video, she'll be like, yeah.
Hey, what's up, Gene?
So so anyway, it was one of those appointments. You ever have one of those appointments where the one spouse would not even sit at the kitchen table because you were so
yes.
you were there?
Yes.
Now, if you haven't done that many appointments, maybe not, but my ex was one of those ones. She would not even sit at the kitchen. She was just sitting over there all pissed off, right? We were supposed to be somewhere, and now you got this guy coming over talking about insurance, right? So I invited him in. And I'll tell you, man, destiny's a crazy thing, because what if I'd have missed that? Would that guy have driven an hour and a half to come see me another weekend? I don't know, right? Because it was an hour and a half from where they were coming to Toronto to come to my place as well. And I ended up sitting with them, and I don't remember much of that appointment other than, you know, they're going through the Primerica presentation, what they do, blah, blah, blah. They actually collected some information from me. I didn't really know what was going on. Found out, though, that I had mortgage insurance. They booked a follow-up meeting with me the next weekend, and they ended up showing me that, hey, look, you have mortgage insurance, and I was paying $25 a month for mortgage. In Canada, they have something called mortgage insurance, which is attached to your mortgage. And basically what that means, it's a declining coverage, because as your mortgage is paid down, your coverage goes down, right? So they showed me that I had this product that wasn't very good compared to buying a separate term policy to cover my mortgage. And not only that, they showed me how to get $250,000 of coverage on me. I think 175, I want to say, on my spouse, who was not working at the time. And they did all this for about $52 a month on term insurance. Now that we're brokers, I probably could have done it for $20 a month, because Primerica's prices are pretty out there. But anyway, I was already spending $25 on my mortgage, and I was also spending another $25 on 2 different credit cards that I had. I was paying for this protector balance thing that they have in Canada. So I was like, I'm already spending $50 for this little bit of coverage. You're going to give me all this coverage, more money if I die, more importantly, more money if she dies, right? So I'm like, get along with that. So I'm like, man, I get rich. This woman gets hit by a truck, you know, what's up?
Oh, God. Jeez. I feel your pain.
I the policy on her when we separated, because I was like, I don't need this kind of temptation in my life.
Amen, brother. I feel your pain.
We're in Texas, no? All I'm saying is that we can't carry in Canada. Like, who's the CEO? Is he a murderer now? No. But I've been called a lot of things. Never a murderer, though. Okay. So, 37 minutes. Stay on track, Jamie. Okay. So bottom line is this. I bought the policy, but let me tell you how amazing Fitzroy Thomas was at recruiting. He was unbelievable. You know what he said to me after he sold the policy to me? I knew nothing about insurance. I didn't know that there was an opportunity to join the business. Nothing. I literally bought the policy, signed it, said, Crystal, get over here, you gotta sign something. Right? We sign it, we get the coverage, I give him a check for the first month premium, because in Primerica they collect the first premiums, and then you got conditional coverage, and we did all that, okay? And then, right as he's wrapping up, putting all this stuff together, he says to me, he goes, oh, by the way, do you know anyone that's, you know, entrepreneurial or looking to go into business for themselves? Yeah, right here. Why? Like, I didn't even know why he's asking this. Like, he never talked nothing about opportunity, Primerica. Like, everyone says that everyone in Primerica, all they want to do is recruit people. Apparently, Fitzroy didn't. Because he says to me, by the way, do you know anyone that's looking? I said, well, yeah, I'm always looking to do something. What do you mean, doing what you do? And now, you know, when people say that you're thinking, well, you know, it's different. It's more than sales. There's an opportunity. You can build it. He kind of did that. And I'm like, no, like, I can do what you're doing. Like, I can go sit down with people. I can sell them what you just did for me, and I can make money doing that. He's like, well, yeah. I'm like, how do I join? I said, I don't have to have a degree or nothing. Like I can do this. He's like, yeah, you know, we actually have a meeting on Tuesday night. 2 days later, I drove an hour and a half to Toronto. I sat in that meeting with my buddy Chad, and all I remember is this guy named Steve at the front. Steve makes about $500,000 now. And Steve's at the front talking about how we're going to show people how to change their lives. You can make $100,000 a year. And I remember that this guy Fitzroy, who was, I didn't know this at the time, was so broke he couldn't afford to fix his vehicle. I kept asking him, why do you have this big, huge dent thing in the front of this hood? And I kept asking him every time I saw him for like a few months after, I'm like, why didn't you fix a dent in your hood? Oh, you know, I'm just too busy building my business. I don't have time to bring it in. I didn't know it was because he was broke, right? So I remember sitting in a meeting with my buddy Chad, and we're in this, and there's about 100 people in the room. That office, by the way, broke the all-time Canadian recruiting record. That month that I joined, they recruited 101 people. And I think I'm the only one left standing. However, I remember Fitzroy standing at the back and a couple of these other guys that had these cheap suits on, which I couldn't tell the difference at the time. And I remember saying to Chad, Chad 6'7", so I'm like, Chad, look at those guys back there, bro. I go, that's going to be us one day. Fast forward 10 years later, that was us. That was me standing at the back of the room, broke his shit. Be careful what you wish for. Anyway, so fast forward 10 years later, got rid of that wife. Oh my gosh. I have two beautiful kids that are screwed up, but aren't all kids screwed up. But so I got two beautiful kids from my first marriage, and then I met my wife Leanne 5 years later, I want to say, in Primerica. So I spent the last 3 or 4 years in Primerica building the business alongside Leanne, my now wife. We've been together 16 years. And we have a baby together. We're a blended family. I have a 23-year-old who has a 2-year-old son, so I'm a grandpa. And I have a 22-year-old son. And then Leanne has my other son, who's technically not my biological son, but he's still my boy. Addison, who's 23. He actually works for us corporate. And then we had a daughter together, and she's now 13 years old. We had shortly after we got married. And I say all that to say this, that the life that my older kids had versus my 13-year-old daughter, so the 22, 23, and 23-year-old, the life that they had compared to my 13-year-old, it's way different. Way different. The reason I'm leaving early today is because I got to go home. We now have, by the way, I'm going to confuse you now. We have 9 children, okay? Where's the math on that? This is Primerica math. We just exaggerate everything. Tell the CEO I said hi. But I'll tell you what. No, we're actually in the process of adopting 5 children that are all actually from the same birth parents. So, yeah, no,
all right.
It's a blessing. So we went from 4 kids sometimes in the house, right, to 3 kids sometimes, to 2 kids in the house, to 1 kid in the house, to Kia, and then a few months later, back to 6 kids in the house because we got all 5, and their ages now, all of our children at home range from 4, little Phoenix, all the way up to Deja now, who's 15. And anyway, so I have to fly home because I promised them that, because I've been gone every single weekend, that we're going to Great Wolf Lodge, and I got to meet my wife there. So we're going to Great Wolf Lodge tonight, and I'm excited about that. But I'll tell you this. There was no such thing as Great Wolf Lodge for Hayden, Haley, and Addison. There was no such thing as Great Wolf Lodge. By the way, Great Wolf Lodge, I booked it for the weekend, and it was $1,800 for 2 nights at Great Wolf Lodge. That's without the meals and everything else along with it, because we had to get the cabin size and everything. $1,800 for me when I was in Primerica, or when I was a machinist, wasn't going to happen. I couldn't even put it on a credit card because my credit card was constantly maxed. I have this one credit card, guys, right here, Capital One. This is my Capital One credit card. This credit card has a $2,500 balance, okay? And I only keep it with me as a constant reminder of my Primerica days, because this is the only credit card that didn't go into collections, because I knew if I ever wanted to book a hotel or anything online, I had to have a credit card. And this is before they had prepaid credit cards. So I always made sure I made the minimum payment. And I had this thing at a $2,499 balance pretty much every single month of my life. I pay it down by $20 for the minimum payment or whatever it was, and then I put money back on it. And I had this credit card. It's paid off now, in case you're wondering. And actually, I still use it once in a while if they don't take Amex somewhere. So I'll tell you what, though, it's like a constant reminder of the one credit card I've had since I was 20 years old. And I mean, obviously, it's expired and I've got a new one, you know what I'm saying? But it's the same credit card with the same limit. I won't increase the limit, right? They offer me all the time. I won't. I want it to be a $2,500 credit card till the day I die. It's a constant reminder of where my life was once upon a time. Now, let's fast forward. At age 31, my wife and I, we decided to leave Primerica. Again, a masterful recruiter, okay? You guys saw how I got recruited at Primerica. That guy was a master, right? Oh, by the way, we're expanding, looking for entrepreneurial people. That was it. Then I showed up to a meeting, okay? I joined Primerica. I went full-time a month later. I've never looked back. I've been 23 and a half years almost now full-time in the industry. Then, at age 31, I'm still struggling in Primerica 10 years in, right? I'm paying my bills most of the time, right? I got my Capital One, which I made sure I kept paying that down, down. And then I end up having a guy reach out to me on Facebook, right? And he says to me, he goes, "Hey, Jamie, are you still with Primerica?" I said, "Yeah." "Why?" He says, "Because I was with Primerica for 18 years. I was also a ring earner, But I left a year ago, and I'd love to talk to you about being an independent broker. And my first response to him, actually it was my wife's first response to him, because I stepped out of the house, and then she saw my laptop was open, and she saw this guy Dean messaging me, and we shared all of our accounts in it, so it wasn't like she started sneaking up. And she goes, hey Dean, do you sell whole life or universal life? This is my wife. And he responded, nope, never have, never will. He was still a Kool-Aid guy, but he was now selling term insurance, to which then I got back home, my wife's like, this guy Dean, he's saying that, talking about being an independent broker, and already we're kind of irritated with our upline, because our son right at this time got deathly ill and was literally on his deathbed, didn't know if he was going to make it. He was in the hospital for 30 days, in ICU for a week of that, because he had complete kidney failure after having a simple appendix operation done. He got rushed to the Hamilton Sick Kids Hospital and everything. He ended up getting a transplant years later, and he's doing okay. He's still got some challenges, but right in that time, I remember my upline calling me to the office while my son's in the hospital, because at this time my wife was also looking at another network marketing company to earn extra income, right? So she was in a company called Visalis. I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's like nutritional shakes and drinks and stuff. Her cousin did it, and we just had a baby. Our daughter was only 6 months old at the time. Addison's 11, sick as a dog in the hospital, right? My two children from my ex, they were kind of on again, off again with me sometimes for a while, then back with the mom, and it was all over the place. I could never get full custody, which I always wanted, but it's a money thing with some people in this world, but couldn't get custody. But anyway, so long story short is that my upline calls me into the office, right? This is a guy that was like my brother. He spoke at my wedding. This is a friend of mine. My son's in the hospital now for 2 weeks at this point, right? And I thought he was like gonna bear gifts or something, or hey, like brother, if you need any help with anything financially, because he knew we weren't doing great, and I'm driving back and forth to Max Sick Kids. I mean, just the park outside of a hospital costs you $25, right? Which just blows my mind. In Canada, you don't have to pay to park at a casino, but you have to pay to park at a hospital. I mean, figure that one out.
Wow.
If you don't mind.
Wow.
Because people are struggling. You have to pay. So like just parking there and the gas and everything, like it was killing us. And I thought he was going to say like, hey man, is there anything I can do, right? He knows our son's like, was on his deathbed. Now he's starting to recover, but he's still in the hospital. And instead he said to me, he goes, Jamie, what the F are you thinking? He goes, you got your wife, you guys running around doing this other business crap with the Visalis at the time, this other network marketing. He goes, you should be focused on your business now more than ever. This opportunity is greater than it's ever been. And he starts going on about how awesome Primerica is and how could I even think about looking at something else, blah, blah, blah. Even though I was still Primerica, he just laid into me. And
wow.
I was just like so sick after that. My pastor was 2 doors down from his office where my pastor's on. I went over to my pastor, I said, I gotta quit this company. I said, I'm so sick to my stomach that I have to work with this human being and everything else. And I was so mad. I was talking to the pastor about like, and he goes, just wait, God has a plan. He goes, don't make any fast decisions. God has a plan. It was literally days after that. And I know I jumped ahead of the story a bit, but it was literally days after that. My pastor saying, don't worry, God's got a plan. Literally days after that, Dean Axiotis messages me on Facebook saying, hey Jamie, are you still with Primerica?
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
Fast forward 1 month later, I walked away from my 10-year career at Primerica, went all in. My first year as an independent agent, I made 300 grand because I was good at selling. I made 300. By the way, my life changed at 300. My wife and I bought our first home together, right? I was able to buy a car that wasn't falling apart, which was exciting. Read my book if you ever get it. You should read my book. It's kind of the biography on Experior. You can actually hear stories about the gold, stories about the Rios and Arturis and many other great leaders in the company. But you also hear a bit of our story. The van that the door fell off when my son opened it and almost crushed him. You're going to hear stories about my muffler exhaust falling out of a car on my way to a meeting like this, where I'm the main speaker. Someone pulls over the side of the road helping me pull the exhaust off of my car because it was dragging on the ground. And I get back in the car and my wife's like, I sure hope that guy's not going to the meeting here, right? Because we were the main speaker. So, we know what it's like to struggle financially. But my point is this. 2 years after leaving Primerica, and we put our heads together and prayed about it and said, we've got to do something in this industry. We didn't do it to make money. As a matter of fact, I would have made a lot more money if I had stayed independent for the next 5 years. Now, things have gotten a little better. I don't think I could have ever got to this level, independent. But for the first 5 years, we put everything back in the company. We didn't upgrade our home. We didn't do we didn't go buy a private jet. We didn't go do all this kind of crap. We were putting money back into the company. Matter of fact, we got sued by Primerica because people that work there don't have freedom, and when they join us and bring their business with them, they actually get sued, and we got into the lawsuit with them, and it ended up costing us almost $400,000 over the course of 7 or 8 months fighting back and forth, and we ended up settling with them. And this is back 8 years ago when Frank, Morrow, Laval, Daniel, Ray, a whole bunch of great guys came over to join us that were with Primerica. And I'll tell you, at that time, we had a cottage, we had our home that we lived in, and I had a rental property. And at that time, we sold our cottage and we sold our rental property because I wanted to make sure that we wouldn't have to dip into the company's money because we needed to keep this company alive if we needed to. Now, it turns out we didn't need to sell the house and we didn't need to sell the cottage. We were able to settle and everything was good. But we wanted that money just in case so that we didn't have to hurt our company while we were building. We always took the focus of the company comes before us. We always took that approach. And I think that's, and if you think about this, what is the company? Well, the company is just an entity. It doesn't have a heart, doesn't have any feelings, right? But what is the company? The company is Rich and Monica Claypool, right? The company is Omar. The company is Darren and Stephanie. The company is Xavier, Javier, and Vidika. Javier. What sound does a J make? Oh, to you, but J to me. I'm from Canada, eh? Our J. My name's not Haney, it's Jamie. But I'll tell you what, Experior wasn't just an entity to me. Experior was never just, this means to get rich. That's not what Experior is to me. Experior is about the lives that we get to impact all across this country, all across this nation, all across eventually the globe. That's what Experior is to me. So damn straight, I'm putting Experior first. Some of you need to get that wrapped around your mind. What are you putting first? Your own pocketbook or your team's?
Come on.
Hear me now. If you make it so that your team has the greatest opportunity for success, does that not in turn help you be successful?
Right.
Okay. If you take advantage of a teammate, and yes, it could short-term benefit you, but long-term, does that not destroy a relationship?
100%.
Guys, you always got to look at what's best for the team. And that's what we did. What's best for Experior, aka the team. Now, how did we get to this point? 6,000 agents and growing. We'll be at 10,000 shortly. We're going to take this thing to become the largest financial services company on the planet. I have zero question about it. Matter of fact, if I had to bet everything that I have right now, everything that we've built right now, on whether or not we would be the biggest, most successful team of agents on the history of this industry, and it's like, if I didn't get there, I lose everything, and if I do get there, everyone wins and we all keep everything. I would bet everything that we will be
like Art
the
Williams.
largest, most dominant player in the insurance space. And to me, it's not rocket science. Remember last night I said that 9 out of 10 people in this industry, I think, running IMOs and MGAs are crooks?
Yep.
They just keep helping us, right? I bought a hat a long time ago when I was in Calgary actually, and it says, "I love haters." That's not just a phrase for me. That's my life, man. I love haters. I love the people that hate me. Because if it wasn't for them and their big mouths, they wouldn't be scaring people over to us all the time.
Amen.
Oh my gosh, they get up there all wisdom-like and they go, well, Experior is bad because of this, and this, and it's all like lie. And then it's like eventually there's someone smart in the crowd, and they're like, why is he always talking about Experior? Right? I mean, they're doing training classes on how to combat Experior. If we were not a threat, you would just ignore us and we'd go away, right? But we are a threat, right? There's companies changing their models now. I'm going to tell you something that's hilarious. Some of you guys heard of the company WFG before? WFG is a builder's company only, and they don't care about producers. They only care about builders. Experior's a producer model. Well, they say that because we pay too much. So, we're not a builder's company. Did you know what they just introduced in Canada in WFG? A personal producer bonus. Is that hilarious? Is that freaking hilarious? Why did they do that? Experior is why.
Yep.
Experior is why they did that.
Come on.
That's cool. That's cool.
Come on.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, there's another competitor in Canada. They're the fourth largest in Canada. We're bigger than them overall, but they're actually a little bit bigger than us in Canada right now. We'll be bigger than probably in the next few months, especially since we keep taking all their agents right there. Continue, man. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's exciting. But guess what? Guess what they said? They used to say this about Experior. They said, oh yeah, they give you shares in a private company. What good is that? Shares in a private company are useless. Said someone that knows nothing about business, clearly. But that's what they said. There's no value on shares in a private company. Fast forward 2 years later, guess what they're doing? They're giving shares in their private company.
That's hilarious.
I love it. It's so awesome, man. I love it. Anyways, how do we do this? It's simple. And if some of you have heard me share this talk before, don't ruin it for the others. But for you guys that haven't heard me share this, I need you to understand something. I have 3 massive keys to success. Massive. I'm going to need you guys to get out your pen, your notepad, your phone, whatever you got. You're recording it, so you're good. This is huge. Hemraj, I'm telling you, what I'm fixing to share with you is going to change your life. Change your life forever. 3 things that we did. Yep, get out, take your time. I don't want you guys to miss it. This will absolutely change your life. It's exactly what we did. You guys ready?
Hi.
I don't think you're ready.
I'm ready.
You ready? Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 things that we did from the day we started, and we still do it to this day. And it has absolutely changed our lives and changed the lives of hundreds of people, soon to be thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Changed everything. 3 things. You ready, Enoch?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 3 words. But it's actually just 1 word. I just say it 3 times, okay? 1 word 3 times over, okay? Go, go, go. Yeah, it gets, yeah.
Come on.
2 times. I'm telling you, you're going to miss it. Here's what I'm saying. Some of you think that you got to learn more, then you can go. Some of you think you got to study more, then you can go. Some of you think you got to come to this meeting, and then you can go. Some of you think all the wrong, stupid things that aren't going to work for you. I'll tell you what's going to work for you. You just go. I don't know if you're going. Just go. That's go. 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 You hear me now? Go. Jamie, how did you go? You got 120 people on staff. 40 of them are independent contractors, but 80 full-time staff working in a head office. We got a freaking 6,000 agents. We got a cleaning company that comes into my office. Every time I come into my office, my garbage is gone. I don't know how it happens, but it's gone. It's amazing. I got the desks are white. The freaking we got compliance, 6 people in compliance. I didn't even know how to spell compliance when we started this thing. How did you do all this? Right? Go, go, go. We just kept going, 1 step at a time. As Frank DeLeo says, you'll know what you need to know when you need to freaking know it.
Yeah.
But you'll never know what you need to know if you don't go.
Right.
That makes sense? You just got to take another step. You just got to go out of your comfort zone. Now, next part. Go, go, go. That's it. That's why every time I sign my book, you see what I write? Go, go, go. So what is go, go, go? What's this? Inspector Gadget? Right? No. This is right? For the young folks. That was an old cartoon back in the day. Right? Go, go, go. It's everything. It's everything that we did to build a business. Some people think, no, there's got to be more to it. There wasn't more to it. Everything came as a result of us going. Everything. Hey, Derek, you remember we started talking about coming to the U.S.? Said, man, we're going to go to the U.S. Was everyone on board? Yeah, we should do this, Jamie. That's a great idea.
Heck no.
No. As a matter of fact, the ELC said, Jamie, it's too early, we're too young, right? It's not going to work, right? It's stupid timing, everything. We didn't know the pandemic was going to hit 6 months later. But I was like, I'm going to do what I know best. I'm going to go. Even though people around me, including people that I love and trust and appreciate and respect, told me you're crazy, don't do it. We're not ready. We're not ready. We got to get Canada stronger first. Don't do it. Don't do it. Guess what? We did it. We said go, go, go. And guess what? For 2 years, not much happened. But we just kept going. We kept learning. I went to the Nailba conferences. I studied everything on YouTube I could. Every video of every single cat on YouTube. I knew who Cody Askins was before I met Cody Askins, right? I knew who the owner of FFL was before I ever had a conversation with him. I knew all our competitors' comp plans better than most of the competitors probably know their comp plans themselves. I studied this stuff, and I kept going and going and going, and then eventually figured out, how are we going to do this? How are we going to structure this? How can we beat everybody? I don't want to just beat the guys that suck, because there's a lot that suck where it's like, come on, you're paying your top guys 78%. Good. Oh, okay. I want to figure out, how can we beat everybody? And can we make it viable financially? Right? Go. Guys, I didn't know what a chief technology officer was. Anyone know what that? I didn't know what they were. But we're hiring one next Friday, $500,000 salary. That's a lot of money for someone. I didn't know about that. I thought I could pay someone $40,000 a year to be a chief technology officer. I didn't know. I paid $40,000 a month to do this job. I said, what? So they can help us with the 40 people. Can't one of the 40 people step up and be a CTO? No, they can't. We need someone with public trading experience, right? Because we want to be a public company one day. Like, we got all these crazy things that we want to do. And guess what? I didn't know anything until we kept going. Kept taking one step at a time. Learning it one step at a time. How much did you know about term life insurance before you learned about term life insurance? Nothing. How much did you know about an IUL plan before you learned about an IUL plan? Does that mean you can't learn it? How much did you know about how to talk to someone, prospect, sell, recruit, train? How much did you know about that until you did it?
Yeah.
So guess what? You want to be a millionaire? You might not know what it takes to get there now, but if you keep moving in the right direction, you can get there. Frank didn't even believe in himself that he would one day be making $1 million a year. He didn't even believe it. I believed it for him. I knew that he would do it. Now, maybe deep down inside, he's like, yeah, I guess I could. I mean, it's a great company, and maybe one day. But I don't think he thought that 8 years later he'd be making $1 million a year at this thing. He spent 16 years in Primerica to make $10,000 to $15,000 a month. I don't think he pictured that in half that time he'd be making 10 times that in a month.
Wow.
I don't think he pictured that, right? But I knew where I wanted to, and I kept having this vision that we could do this and we could do it right. But the reason that I always believe so much is because I don't take breaks. Don't get me wrong, I'm taking a break this weekend. I'll take a vacation once a year. Right? I do take some time off to be with my family. But when I'm on, I'm freaking on and I'm going. How can I not believe in this thing? The reason people lack belief is not because they haven't read enough books on self-improvement. Matter of fact, some of you guys got to get your head out of a book and get yourself to work. Right? I'm not saying not to read and work on yourself, right? We got to work on ourselves and grow as individuals. But I'm telling you, there's no better growth than just getting out and getting ugly and getting it done. Right? I'm proud of my boy right here with the camera. He was scared shitless to talk to me last night, right? I don't know why, like, we're cut me, I believe, too, right? But he's scared to talk to me, and guess what? He goes, Jamie, Dinesh, my upline, told me that I should do a video with someone while I'm here. And good for Dinesh, right? Getting one of his teammates to come out of his comfort zone. Well, doesn't he just go for the throat and come after me? Right? See, Dinesh probably expected
The only sheep drink the Kool-Aid.
We were in the business, and hey, let's do an interview together. We can talk. Instead, he comes to me, and I think his arm was shaking with the camera, right? And he comes to no, it wasn't really, but but you were nervous, right? You were kind of uncomfortable. But guess what? He asked me, and we stand outside. We ended up talking for what? Last night we probably talked for 20 minutes last night, right? We had a good conversation. I did a video with him. But guess what? He didn't know how that was going to go. I might have been one of these. Well, son, I'm a little too busy. One of these bank CEO dumbasses, my freaking name across my jet and all this shit. But I know that's not me, right? So he got out of his right? He got out of his comfort zone. That's what I mean by go. That's what I mean. He took the chance that I was going to say, look, sorry, bro. And guess what? He was nervous about that.
No
I was
segregation.
What's the big deal, bro? We're no different, right? Yeah, man, I'll do that for sure. Why not, right? Some people are so uncomfortable with things. I know for some people, when you go up to Darren or Stephanie or Frank or me or whoever, and you're like, hey, can I get a picture of you? I know you're kind of nervous sometimes. Why? Who cares what we think? Who cares? Everyone is so worried about what everyone else thinks. And LeVar Wilson is a good example of this. Man, I didn't even know LeVar in person until today. But I see this man, and I see a man of character, and I know that he's a man of character because he stands behind his beliefs and what he believes in.
Amen.
How do I know that? Because I'm on social media. I'm proud of the guy. I'm proud of him that he doesn't care what people think of him. Why? Because he has values. He has integrity.
Amen.
I believe that the more values and integrity that you have in your life, the less that you give a crap what other people think of you.
Amen.
If you know that you're a good dude or dudette, Okay? Dudes, right? Did you know that moms can be bros now? Right? Right? We got 2 teenage daughters. They're like, hey, bro. I'm like, my wife is not a bro.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, no, it's like bro.
Your sister ain't a bro.
She wears a bra. She's not a bro.
Yeah. Amen. Hey, go bra shopping.
Kids are weird these days, man. Yeah, are you capping? I remember the first time my 11-year-old Elijah comes up to me, oh man, you capping. I'm like, what'd you say? You're capping. I'm like, capping, that's not a word. What are you talking about? Yeah, it means like you're lying. Like, I go, no, if I'm lying, I'm lying. I'm not capping. And now guess what? I've caught myself using, yo, bro, you capping.
My kids same way.
Say this stupid crap, right?
Yeah.
That's not a word, right? Anyways, do you get it? Go. Right.
Yes.
Don't worry about what people think of you. You know who I care who thinks about me? I care about my teammates. I care about the family, my loved ones. I care about my friends. But only even to a certain point. That was funny? Look, you could have a good time over here. By the way, I did want to be a stand-up comedian at one point in my life too. So listen. I even my best friends, right? If I had a best friend and I was posting stuff on Facebook and they messaged me privately and said, Jamie, all you do is talk about business. Now, I've never had a best friend do that. I wouldn't give a rat's ass. I wouldn't care one little bit.
Amen.
Matter of fact, my high school wrestling coach, and I love him. He's just an amazing dude. I couldn't believe it. He's only a few years older than me. He just retired from teaching. And anyway, he's a great man. And I remember he said something that bothered me one time. And we were about 3 years into building the company, 2 years in. No, not actually. Right when we were close to start. Yeah, because my sister was getting married and I was the MC at her wedding. So I posted on Facebook, super excited. I'm normally posting business, right? And I sometimes post a bit of family stuff. But I use social media, and that's my platform to recruit people. I don't know if you guys figured that out. Okay, I want the world to know. So and some of you guys are using it for entertainment and stuff, and that's cool too, right? I love it for entertainment, but I also use it for my business. Well, I posted that, hey, I'm excited. I get to speak at my kid's sister's wedding. I'm the MC of her wedding. I'm super pumped up. Jenna, and now she's divorced, unfortunately, but he's still a great dude. And they take care of their kid and everything. But I tell you, I was speaking at her wedding. This is probably almost 10 years ago. So we knew the Experior. And I remember my high school wrestling coach, okay? The younger, not the guy that, some of you guys have heard me talk about Frank Corning. He's like my senior wrestling coach that retired when I was in grade 11. But this is the younger guy that came in. It was more like I was teaching him how to wrestle along with him training the wrestling team, right? Because he was newer at it and he took on the job of being a wrestling coach. And I remember him sending me a private Facebook message and he goes, hey, Jamie, just remember, no shameless plugs about your company.
Wow.
I was so mad.
Wow.
I replied back to my old teacher, old high school coach, and I said, why would you say that? Do you think I'm a fool? That's it. He's like, no, I'm just joking with you, buddy. Anyway, hope you and the family are well, blah, blah, blah. But there was a part of him that was like, yeah, look at Jamie, he's always talking about business and how successful his team is and this and that. And he's a teacher, not making probably as much as what you could make, right, as a business person. So it probably bothered him more seeing all my positive crap all the time, and then he felt like saying that to me. But at the time, I was a little bit more immature in my leadership. I was about 35 years old, right? I'm now 44. I've become more of a man over the years, and I think that's kind of the goal as men or women, to get better as we age. Now, if I had someone message me that, I would have just ignored it and laughed. But at the time, I felt like I go, why, do you think I'm a fool? I felt like I had. Now it's like, whatever, man. You can think what you want. Right? There's a book by Max Lucida. Is that the guy's name? Max Lucida?
Lucado?
Yeah. So anyway, I bought his book after a lady shared with me at the couple conferences ago that I was at a few weeks ago. And she told me a story that what I was sharing reminded her of. And it's the story about the spots. And I haven't read the book yet. I bought the book, and when the book came in, I'm like, oh, Leanne, check out this kid's book I bought because the lady recommended. She goes, I already have that book. I've read that to the kids many times. I'm like, I didn't know. I said, now we got 2 books, right? So I bought the book, and I still haven't read it, so I don't know the whole story exactly. But it kind of goes like this. So bear with me. If you've never read the book, I'm sorry I'm going to ruin it for you. This is a teaser. But it's a book about this person, or this, I don't know if they're gremlins or what, I don't even know. But let's just picture this. We're in a village. I'm going to do it my way. We're in a village, there's a whole bunch of people, and everyone's walking around with spots on them. Okay? And everyone has, and I'm just making the story up myself, so if you read the book and I'm saying it wrong, just go with it. And people have green spots and red spots. The green spots are every time someone has come up to them and said, oh, you're doing something good. Oh, you look good today. Oh, I like what you said to that person. Oh, I like how you're acting. I like you. I like this. I like that. And then the red spots are people that are saying, oh, you don't look right. Oh, what'd you do to your hair today? Oh my gosh. Or what, this, that, the other, or whatever, right? Something negative, right? So the green is positive, the red is negative. You got it? Okay. Everyone's walking around with green and red spots. Not one of us, if we were in this village, right, and we were susceptible to these stickers that are being stuck on us, not one of us would be all green. Right? We've all screwed up. We've all made mistakes, right?
Hey, Mark, look at what Fuller said.
Right? Even some names I won't mention. Even those 9 out of 10 douchebags that run IMOs, okay? Green spots, and lots of them, right? We all have good and bad, yes? Right? But guess what? There was one person walking around, had no spots on them. And people would come up to them and try and put a green spot on them and tell them they're good, and it would just fall off. And then they'd come up, someone didn't like something about them, didn't like their hair, didn't like the fact that they're on the phone while I was talking, right? And they put put a red spot on them, right? And a green spot, and a red spot. And they would just fall off. They wouldn't stick to the person, right? This person had no spots. And then someone finally came up to them and go, I don't get it. Everyone comes up to you just like everyone else, and you're the only one that these spots don't stick to. You know what they said? They said, it's easy. I'm not defined by what other people think about me. I'm defined by who I am and what my Creator made me to be.
Amen.
Amen. Now, for those that have read the book, I know I botched it, okay? Give me a break. I haven't read it yet, okay? But I like that example because no matter what, when Raza says nice things about me and introduces me, yeah, it makes me feel good. I like that. But I don't want to take it from the heart to the head.
Yes.
I'll take it to the heart, sure. It's a compliment. It feels good. Don't let it get to your head, man. If you start believing your own press, look out. You're a disaster waiting to happen.
Come on.
You need to stay humble no matter how. One thing everyone loves about Moral, like, honestly, if you look at Moral, you talk to Moral, you can't not like the guy. I mean, if you don't like Moral, you just don't like people. I mean, you know what I mean? He's a good dude. Frank, okay. But Moral, how do you not like Moral? Right? That doesn't mean Moral and I have never had disagreements. Heck, man, he was mad at me a few weeks ago about something, right? He was pissed off, we're going back on. Right? We're not going to always get along. But I'm always going to love the guy. How do you not love Moral? Right? But guess what? I think one of the reasons why we all love Moral is this. He's never changed who he was.
Come on.
He's still the same Mauro Arturi when he was broke as he is when he's rich. He never changed. One thing, I'm going to toot my horn. People like this about me. I'm the same Jamie Prickett, broke as I am rich.
That's right.
Now, I prefer the rich one. Right? I mean, think about this. Depressed and miserable in Guelph when it's snowing, or depressed and miserable in Hawaii? I'm going to go to Hawaii. No, that's never going to Hawaii. But no, my point is, guys, you can be happy and broke, and you can be happy and rich. You can also be miserable and broke, and you can be miserable and rich.
Right.
What I want you guys to realize is that money and the money you make is not a reflection of, who you are, right? Because there are a lot of amazing people that don't have any money. And there's a lot of amazing people that have a lot of money. One of the things that I know about money is that it's an amplifier.
Yep.
Exactly.
I don't think it changes people. I think it amplifies who they really are.
Exactly.
Yep.
And
Sure
when you start
does.
seeing people that, maybe didn't know much about them because they were a little quieter. When they start making money, it gets louder. And then you start to realize, who is this person? Right? And I think that when it says something, and I can share something out of the Bible, and I believe it's similar in a lot of the texts of different scriptures, and it is that that the love of money is the root of all evil.
Amen.
Hear the words, the love of money
Yes.
All evil. It's like all the evil in our world is because of the love of money.
Come on.
Are there wars because of anything else but money?
Nope.
Come on, it's all about money,
Yep.
right? I know this about Experior. I believe that we attract good people, and I believe that good people thrive here. And I'm just asking that each and every one of you over the next couple of days take notes, learn a lot of stuff, get better at your craft. But know this, you're never going to master anything until you go, go, go. I believe in you guys. Let's kick some ass.
Woo!